We're looking at the NASDAQ on the weekly chart here, and we're looking up at primary wave 3. So I'm trying to round up most of the other stocks, the majority of stocks into this primary wave 3 here, 4, 5 to make wave 1 here and wave 2 here. Now, not all stocks are going to fit into this, of course. But the ones that have this particular low from down in the end of 22 and have got the same sort of progressive move to the upside, we can pretty much sort of round in that. Now, some of them are a little bit sort of offbeat and weird, but yeah, it's kind of important because, you know, when you have decent tops in the market, most of the stocks are going to be doing much the same as well. So between wave 4 and wave 5 here, let's just go into the daily chart here for this. And we're looking for 5 waves up. So from this wave 4 here, in a nutshell, we're just looking for wave 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here. And that will give us that primary wave 3. Let's just put that in there. So that's sort of basically where we are. So we're in this particular trend here, and on the intraday, if we went into this on the on the 20,000 ticks, I think we've been working on this. So on that here, looking at this here, so let me just get a little bit more data in here. So looking at this here as the wave 4 low in this case, give you a bit of a reference point, and then we're building up for 5 waves to the upside here. Okay, so from wave 4 here, we're looking for 1 and 2, and then we'll be looking up for wave 3 over this wave 3 here. So from wave 2 here to wave 3 here, then wave 4, and then wave 5 to the upside. In between wave 2 and 3 here, we're looking also for 5 waves as well. So it's all just fractals really. So we're looking at 1 and 2 in here, and we're going up for 3, 4, 5 to make that third wave. In between these ones here, this wave 2 and this wave 3 here, we're also looking for 5 waves, 5 smaller waves. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 in this case. And that's where we are in a bit of a nutshell. So obviously running into these larger numbers here can skew the count a little bit and take a little while to sort of figure things out. But generally speaking, we're looking quite good between 19,000 and 20,000 here. We use the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio. So 1, 2, 3 is group 1, 5 is the midpoint, and we've got 5 as resistance and now support. And now it's moving off into group 2. So 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, the Fibonacci sequence. And then with number 8, we call group 2 in here. So the lower end of this is 65. So in this case, 650. But once it gets support in the 65 number, then it's leaving the number 5, the second strongest number, and then it will be pulled up. So we'll just hold our long positions into this, and all looking pretty good. So it's pretty much risk on, as I said last week, for indices or most indices and stocks. So let's just move over to Apple here, and with Apple's had a slightly different count in the bigger picture, but in a bit of a nutshell, we're going from wave 2 to wave 3 up here. And the end of last week when we were chatting away, I mean Apple's put it's finally integrated its AI into all its applications. So we're seeing a bit of a boost in the market. So we're looking at this boost here as a third wave and pulling back for the fourth wave, and then we'll see that move up to the fifth wave here, and then we'll see another fourth wave here, and then a fifth wave. So a bit of a 4s and 5s to the upside in this case. So let's just go in and look at this on the intraday. Where are we here? I think we're on 1,000 ticks, and we're just really focusing on this little area through here. So we've been speaking about this wave 4 all of last week. We noted we had little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the third wave. So we're waiting for the fourth wave to unfold, and this is the 38.2% retracement level for that wave 4. So the 210 should find support. We should see it lift off that in due course. We come over to Amazon, and with Amazon here we've got our reference wave 4 here, and we've got 1 and 2. It's a little bit weird, this one, and then we also have 1 and 2 here. Now I just need to talk about this for a second. We've got this as an ABC, and it should lift up with the other markets, and the indicators are doing that a little bit fast on the indicators, but I got this running very fast as well, so that's okay. But we should see this lift off here, but there's also a case to look at this as a 5-wave move down here. So we've got an entry at around the 186 mark here, so we may change that, and I just want to talk to you about this. So I feel like we should be having this as an ABC pattern here, and then we can move up from this point. But at the same time, if I go from 1,000 ticks to 100 ticks here, we can also count that as 5 waves down here, so quite clearly. So it's a little bit of a risk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave, up for the B wave into our entry area here at 186. And then down for a C wave here. So I'm thinking that we've got our 5 waves here. Let me just double check this on another charting program actually. Let's I can just go over here, sorry about that. Let's just go here for this. I'll just check. Okay, right, yeah, I can see it a bit. Oh yeah, it's still a bit different. Charting programs can give differently, but it's still that high there. It's not the best 5 waves here, so you could get the A and the B from here. Yeah, it just doesn't account very. Look, I'm a little bit concerned about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, because that's a bit silly there. I'm going to put this at let's just do it at, I should put it at 184.10, but we'll put it at 183.73, and that way, because I know that we'll push up here, but if we push up here and then we end up coming back down here, we'll see where the other stocks are, and at least we'll be able to either exit or manage this if this, this will be in 5 waves here as well. So let me just check that. So yeah, we've got 180, 186 there. So I'm just going to go into the back end of the website and change that to, what can we change that to? It's not a big deal, just on the open really. Let's just put that 183.73, 183.73. Just bear with me for a second. 183.73, 183.73. Okay, so I'll just save that. So I'll just do that there. That's cool. So we just updated that a bit there. So I'll just go back to this. It'll just give us a better chance to manage this situation. So we'll just ponk that there. Get everything working early Monday morning. It's a bit tricky. Okay, so a little bit of an improvement on there. So we're just going to shape that up a little bit. We'll see how that goes. And over to Nvidia. So I just want to talk about Nvidia for a little bit. I'm going to talk about Nvidia, Google, and Microsoft in the bigger pictures. So we've been looking at this particular wave 4 here. So I just want to go to our Elliott wave algo, which is a good way of viewing this situation. So just let me find that for a moment. Okay, here. So this is Nvidia here. Okay, so the Nvidia there. And I don't need much of that there. So this is going back to when Nvidia started in 1999, so coming out of that 2000.com bubble. And this is a monthly chart, and it's on log scale. And there's different ways to count this. So we've got different counts here. So you could look at it as a wave 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, and 5 up here, and then ending here. But when you think about it, we know that this industry that they're in is just beginning. It's not ending. So this particular count, even though it counts correctly, it's probably not right. So then I'll changing it to this particular count here. Now there's some counts out of these 8 counts here that are just way out of whack, so I'm not going to go through them. But this one here, where it places wave 1 and 2 here in this instance, right? This 1 and 2 here and building up for a third wave here. Well, to me that would make a little bit more sense with an industry just sort of starting, yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's why putting 1 and 2 here in this case, So that means that if I just come back to this charting program and I come down to 50Ks here, this is that 1 and 2 that I just mentioned, So from that point, now we're building a case to the upside here. Now I may or may not have this correct, but what I can say is this thing is trending up, and so it doesn't really matter about the count too much, but obviously we like to nail it down a bit. So looking at this here because from this wave 2 here going up to wave 3 of that degree there, would put it, would put this up here then, would put this up here into a larger third wave up here, and then a fourth, and then a fifth at that point, So certainly climbing to the upside. So we've got this 2 to 3 up here. This can obviously go up here further. It's no big deal. And we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here. And then we could look at this as 1 and 2. Now with the other markets, with the NASDAQ and the rest of it, we've got a wave 4 sitting here. So I've got this wave 4 sitting here as well. So I'm aware of that situation. But this one's obviously leading the pack, and then so we're just counting up here for this as well. So. Yeah, so this is what I'm sort of thinking. So, a much bigger sort of picture to the upside for this. But in the short term, how I was like looking at primary wave 3 for those markets, the NASDAQ, topping out into that situation. So if I just come back here a little bit, because you've got to kind of get all the tops, lined up correctly. That's... So weekly chart here, just so this this unfolding across here as wave 3, 4, 5, and this top here. Now, not all markets need to be the same, but they will be correcting the same. So other markets could have this as a wave 3 here and a wave 4 here, going back, and some faster markets will have it as 1 and 2 here. So the NASDAQ and the S&P are with this 1 and 2. But Nvidia is not quite the same, but we still want to get this top in line, and this one and so on. So this wave 3 here is important. So we'll get this, and this. It'll be a slightly different configuration, but the same pattern in a way, So yeah, that's what I'm sort of looking at this point. So with that in mind, if I come into, I think here's got this move in from this point here, moving this to the upside. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to line this up with the NASDAQ as well, because this market's really creating the NASDAQ. So if I come back to the NASDAQ here and just go into into the 20,000 area here. So from this low here as 1 and 2 here, and then blue wave 1 and 2 and going up for blue wave 3 here, it's got to be kind of the same in here as well. So from this wave 4, looking at this 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So we're definitely moving to the upside, and we, we'll end up at the 150. There'll be this is 130 here. Is the top of this is the top of minor group 1. So there's going to be a little bit of time spent here before pushing up into this wave 3 and 4 here, and then so on to the upside. So anyway, I just thought I'd open that up, and because it's probably don't need that right there, but yeah. So anyway, just sort of showing you how my head works and how I'm sort of keep pulling them together, these trends and corrections, and keeping an eye on them and so on. Anyway, that's Nvidia. So I spent a little bit of time on that. I won't spend any time on this one here. It's pretty simple. So in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then we've got 5 little waves up here for 1 and 2. We've got an entry sitting in here. I think that we're doing 5, 10, 13. So that's on the in the portfolio. So you could drop this down if you wanted to this particular high here and move in a little bit early. I'm not sure how far this will drop here, but a move above 110, 510, and you want to be sort of moving with that. It's also possible to count this a little bit differently from this wave 4 with this wave 1 here, but it's not in line with the rest of the markets. But we're just keeping a bit of an eye on it. We can see this indicator here sort of setting up as well, so we should see that pop. So you could drop that down to this particular high here if you wish, but you'll have to take on risk, and you'll have to accept a deeper move down if things go belly up. Okay, so over to Netflix. So with Netflix here, we're looking the same thing as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2. So we're being triggered in here. So we can look at this as, I'll just borrow these. We can look at these probably not quite like this actually. I mean, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and quite a nice one at that. But I might need this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might need to look at this as 1 and 2 over here. Just build it up a bit higher. But anyway, it's pointing higher, and we're triggered in, and everything is okay. And I'll just leave it at this stage, just there. But yeah, it should weave through group 2 here, 65, 72, and 80, and spend a little bit of time at the 700 here before climbing higher. So we can look to add to this in a couple of days. Let's just get it away from where we need it to be at this moment. Okay, so for Google here, I've counted this a little bit differently here. I've just been sort of mulling things over a little bit. As I've mentioned before, I don't think that I've got this right, and I still don't think that I've got this right. But at the same time, what I'm trying to do here is also bring it in line with the NASDAQ and the other one. So this wave 3 here and 4 here and 5 here to make 5 of 3. This is the NASDAQ here, just on the intraday. The 3, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, the same top that we're looking for. So yeah, and if we go back to the daily chart here for a moment, just to have a look at the bigger picture. So like the NASDAQ, if we just go back to the NASDAQ again, this is important, so I'm sorry to bore you to death, but just trying to get these into the same sort of space. So we're going for primary wave 3, 4, and 5 here to make 1, and then back for 2. Okay, so this primary wave 3 is what we're sort of looking at here. So this is the primary wave 3 in this instance here, this one here that we could probably give a bit more gravity to, and this one as well, and then this one here. So this is the main pattern if you're trend trading, to the upside. We'll just give this a bit more gravity as well, and this one here. So So yeah, so in this instance, coming from the low here, it's basically the same as the NASDAQ, and we're looking for this. We're going from wave 4 here. Now this is a little bit tricky for me because all of these wave 4s here happened at the end of April, which will bring it up to this sort of area here, but I'm not seeing any wave 4 here. So I feel like I still don't kind of have this right in a way. I mean, I could put it in here and bring this over to here and do that sort of thing, bring this into here and then look at this as, as 1 and 2 in here, so to speak, and then moving up into the third wave here. But I've got it moving up into the third wave already here. So there's different, it sort of overlaps here as well. So there's a few issues with it. I kind of know where we are, but I just can't sort of pin the damn thing down. So what I normally do is I normally go over to, this is Microsoft here, and with Microsoft we've got wave 4 and 1 and 2 and we've got some entries here, but I'll come back to this. But with this one here, because these two kind of travel the same a little bit, so same but different. So this one's a little bit clearer. I can get a nice wave 4 into this one, so primary 1 and 2 going all the way up for primary 3 here, and then 4, and then 5, and then making wave 1 here, coming back for wave 2 here. Now this could come down here further and all the rest of it. It's probably around the election times or something like that, So yeah, look, in a nutshell, like I said, I'm just sort of playing the cowboy and rounding them all up into this primary wave 3 here, and I'll just keep sort of doing that. And this one here counts quite nicely in this case. Now you can have wave 4 here and you can have wave 4 here on this one. You can fit them both into the count, but it kind of fits better into this one, but it's doable on that one as well. I get it. But yeah, the main takeaway here is that we are in this third wave. We need the fourth wave, and then we need the fifth wave up here to make that primary wave 3, and then we'll have a wave 4 here. This could be big or small. Technically it should be bigger than this one here, and then wave 5 to the upside, and of course wave 2 can take out the low of wave 4 or could find support on wave 4, all of those sort of things. But that's generally the pattern that that these tech stocks will take. Nvidia will do the same pattern but have a slightly different count in all of this as well. So I hope this helps the trend traders a little bit, because this video is really about teaching folks to swing trade using Elliott wave and the trading levels, and I should use the volume a little bit more, but yeah, so that's that. And then this is the same for Google here as well, fitting in. We need that 3, 4 and 5 up here, and then we need the 4 and then this here, and then we go up again at that point. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far this pulls back. But in the meantime here, you can see that this is minor group 2 here, the 65, 72 and 80. Once a market gets into that, it normally climbs up and gets pulled up into the big numbers. Act like magnets, on the minds of traders. So yeah, that will be pulled up into that 200, and we'll see some classic trading levels patterns occur across there. But in the meantime, we're long in this. We've been long in this for a while, and we'll just stay long up until the 200 area there for that. And just on that note, we'll just go back to the intraday here. And so we've got our stop here, we've got a few entries here. No need to add to this anymore, just got to sit tight. So yeah, like I said, I could label this in different ways. It doesn't really matter, and it's probably wrong at this point here. I could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for wave 1, and back for wave 2 here, then 3, and then 4 and 5. So there's different ways to do it. So I wouldn't get too hung up on it. If you've got a count and you feel comfortable about that, well then that's good. I mean, I'm as wrong just as much as you are. So yeah, so it's just sort of sharing ideas, but looking all good for Google to the upside. And we'll just have a look at this on the intraday as well, heading up into that third wave here. So this third wave here we're looking for, and this fourth and this fifth here. So we'll probably want it up a little bit further because it's a little bit short. This wave one here is good, and wave two here is good, unless we do something sort of weird and look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for 1 and back for 2. But I don't think that's going to work, and as the timing's not right. So what we'll probably do here is somehow extend this out here further to get some to get wave 3 here, that it's not shorter than wave 1 here. So if I put this here, so yeah, we want to get up to group 2 here or something. So we might have to rearrange some of this, but I kind of like it. It's okay at this stage. It looks good. I don't see anything. There's nothing obviously wrong with it. I mean, not sticking out. You know what I mean? Of course, it can be wrong. But we might be. I'd like to stretch it out a bit further. We'll see how we go with that, but it should be all good at this stage. Then we come over to Tesla, and last time we spoke, and we were looking at this. I mean, because we got this as wave 1 here and 2 over here, and this is corrective here. Yeah, it's quite possible that I've made a huge mistake and we get a wave C down here, and this is some sort of A wave, and then an A, B, and C for the B wave, and then down for the C wave, and then we go up at that point. So we do have a position here, so we'll have to give that a bit of consideration. And I didn't want to get out just yet, but here I didn't particularly like this because it counted up in 3 waves here. But when I have a look at it in terms of Tesla here, when I look at it on this one on a 15-minute chart, I can see it's a little bit better in 5 waves to the upside. In fact, and this is not the high on the other charting program. This is the high in the after hours, and I've got that little 5 waves there. Still doesn't help me much here, but it does give me a nice ABC pattern down here so far. So I'll just see how it sits here for the time being before we do anything, okay? And the last one is we look at Bitcoin, because it's a funny old thing. Bitcoin is a bit of a tech stock. It's also a commodity, and it's got a lot of other names as well. So we've got wave 3 here, the same as the NASDAQ and the other markets, and wave 4 here, and we're looking for it to move up. This particular pattern here is corrective, bullish corrective. It means that this could get bigger and uglier over here with a wave 4 over here, but when I think about it, it would put it out of whack too much from the other tech stocks that we've just been looking at. And then from this wave 4 here, there's a couple of different ways to count this up here, but I've got it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're looking for an ABC pattern here. Now, it's quite possible to have this now as 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, and then down for 3 here and back for 4. Now, wave 3 is a bit small, and wave 4 overlaps wave 1, so the diehards will be all over me for that. But it is possible to put that in here. It's also possible to extend this down here further as well. This move to the upside here, it can be counted as impulsive or corrective. It's still a little bit young to deal with. But this wave 4 here had a fair bit of consolidation in here. So if this consolidation, you see all those opens and closes are there, if you've got a keen eye, then you'd need that as support. If that becomes the tested support, then you know that we're going to go up from that point. So if we looked at that, just so you can see it a bit more clearly, if we look at that here, that's the move up. So let me is 10 enough? Yeah, so this is what I was talking about here. So I was thinking that we got 5 here, 1, 2, 3. It does make a nice wave 4 here and then down for 5. But I can see that it's quite short here, But what I'm sort of saying here is that this block here that you could basically reduce in size as well, but if you take the tops here and the bottoms here, you end up somewhere over here. So we could say if 67 became the support here, and it looks a little bit impulsive here, so there's half a silly chance. If the 67 becomes the support here, then we've probably got a low in place at that point. Okay, if it fails to find this consolidation area here as the as the resistance as it's doing now, I mean, it is shying away from it, but that's just natural. It will drop a bit and retest it, and we'll see if the buyers are in there. But yeah, this area here as support would certainly help to the upside. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.